It's the first update, Rob, that I can remember that legitimately helps you grow. This is finally a feature that I can, without hesitation, recommend to people. Hey, welcome to the only podcast that cares more about the way your channel grows than even you do. I am the host here, Travis, and I'm here with good friend of the show and just all-around cool dude, Rob Wilson. How you doing, Rob?
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, indeed. So the podcast channel, this channel here, didn't exist before the audio podcast is. The audio podcast is old. It's been around for a long time, way before me. Leron and Viper and a bunch of people have had access and started and kind of ran this thing before us. I think even Jeremy did at the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah, Jeremy was the founder. Then it came into vidIQ's hands. I think Dan and I did it for 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Many iterations.
Yeah, the most downloaded episodes are I know with Dan's in them. You might have been in them, some of them too. The top one, the one I'm looking to beat, is one with Benji Travis, who we've actually had on this podcast before, on the video version. I started the YouTube channel because I'm like, why are we a YouTube podcast without a YouTube channel for the podcast? It didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, hello, wouldn't people want to watch this on YouTube? I did that a little bit over a year ago and been just kind of crunching along on the growth thing and keeping everyone kind of up to date with where we are. And I want to talk about something that YouTube rolled out that finally can help small channels. And we've seen this not only on this channel, but on another channel that vidIQ just recently launched, the vidIQ Tutorials channel. So we actually have another channel on YouTube called vidIQ Tutorials. If you want to know how to use our tools better, that channel is just for that. Like, you go over there, you learn a bunch of cool stuff. Rob, I think, has a couple of videos over there, Dan and all the rest, that tells you how to use our tools. And again, if you want to use our tools, there's a link in the show notes and in the description with also a discount. So you should go check that out, the free version and the discounted pay version. But what I'm talking about is the collab feature. And I want to talk about how this has impacted this channel and other channels that the other channel that we've dealt with directly. It's the first update, Rob, that I can remember that legitimately helps you grow. I've seen updates that YouTube will bring out and you're like, oh, maybe that'll help me grow, or if you put the numbers just right, maybe it'll be cool. Shorts will help me grow, which I guess in a way that definitely was one as well. But this one in a much more significant way to me, because I don't have to change formats of videos. We just collab. So what some of you might have noticed is on any of the videos that have Dan or Rob in them, because they're on the main channel, I have enabled the collab feature. I don't do it on the other ones because I want people, and as soon as you understand how this feature works, it'll make more sense. Once you do that, the video that's posted from this channel also gets shown to the viewership of the main channel. It does that in the subscription feed and I'll talk about later in the browse feed. And the coolest thing about this is this is what makes collaborations actually powerful. In the past, when you've done collaborations, you usually got to ask the other person, hey, like, post a link to it. And the return on investment, so to speak, like the growth potential, unless you're collabing with Mr. Beast, not super huge. This has actually worked in a very significant way. Rob, before I talk about my side of this, what do you think about this feature, and what are the things you've seen so far?
Yes. So a couple of things. First of all, it's one of the rare occasions where YouTube announced the feature and within literally days, it was available to use for pretty much everybody, as far as I remember. Like, you think about the hype tool and everything else that's often announced, you're months, sometimes years away from getting access to it. And like you say, a lot of tools that YouTube release, they're often keen to mention that this won't actually impact discovery of your content. Like, this is not an algorithm hack, quote unquote. But when it comes to collaborations, it feels like it does have a significant impact on just raw discovery of content. And so what I was doing, Travis, as you were introducing the tool, I was just looking at the back end of the tutorials channel. So we published a couple of videos before we could use a collaboration tool because it was being released at the same time. So I'm looking at a video here that after 24 hours, one day, it had 2,800 impressions. And you'd think
That
that's
seems like a lot.
probably fair. It's not
for a new channel.
It had absolutely none for the first 20 hours, and then it picked up
Right.
a bit. Like for the first 20 hours, it was under 10. But anyway, first day, 2,800 subscribers, and that might equate to
wait, not subscribers.
Sorry, 2,800. Goodness, I'm getting so muddled up now. 2,800 impressions, and that might give you a couple of dozen, maybe 100 views. Right? That's what you might expect from a brand new channel.
Right.
So I go to the next video that we publish where we collabed from the very beginning. How many impressions do you think that video got? Bearing in mind that the previous one got 2,800.
Right. And this is the second video ever?
This is the third video on the channel. But it's the first one where we use a collab tool.
Collab feature. So the thing is that I know something about this, having tested something. If you're saying that you did it as it released, because this is the difference, versus putting it in later, I think it's probably got a lot, like over 10,000, I would imagine, impressions.
58,000.
Whoa.
So just by collabing with a 2 million plus subscriber channel, it increased the impressions rate by, what's that quick maths, about 3,000%. And so what that tells me is that, yes, literally YouTube's discovery is taking the the size of this channel that you're collaborating with, and pulling those viewers are suddenly pulling that video towards them because it has some sort of connection.
Yes.
So yes, it does work, but there's a huge caveat in that we have a luxury of being able to share it with a ginormous channel that already is well established.
Yeah, but we're still going to tell you how, like, using this with other smaller channels can help you. But I want to kind of clarify the thing that he just said. So when we got access to this feature on the podcast channel, I started retroactively putting it on older videos, and I saw a little bit of an increase. But it was funny because we were actually on an upward swing before we got access to this tool. The channel started catching on and doing well, especially starting with the Eve Edwards. Eve Edwards, that's a friend of mine. Daryl Eves video, which you should all watch if you haven't watched. And I noticed that they would get a little bit of a spike, especially if the video was like 2 or 3 days old. It did okay. For the first time ever on the video that Rob's talking about, I did it at launch. So instead of adding it 24, 48 hours later, because maybe I either forgot or because I was just waiting, whatever, I did it so that as soon as it launched, it had access to being a part of that. That thing destroyed every other video in the first 24 hours that we've ever really done. And I understand why. And I suspected this at first. Because when you put it into a video that's older, that has already been released, and it's beyond like the 24-hour kind of newness of a video, which is where you get a lot of impressions. Like as soon as you release a video, if you're a channel that has some type of user base, that's where you get a lot of your impressions, first 24, 48 hours. It's testing the video, trying to figure out like who's going to watch this. When you do that with another channel, like Rob just said, it like turbo boost, like steroids it puts so much more juice into that initial 24 hours that even though this last video that we're talking about, the click-through rate was some of the worst for the first 24 hours on a video that did well for us, it didn't matter. We had so many impressions, the views overcame the bad click-through rate. And I mean, it did affect our CTR too, because again, it affected them too, because technically, like typically what happens is when you don't use Collab, if you're just using, your normal videos, click-through rate from the, just releasing your video, your first day or so, a lot of times the average view duration is higher because it's people who come to watch your channel. They know it. They know what to expect. They'll stick around. So this is being exposed to a lot of people that don't watch the channel. So the average view duration was down by a couple of minutes, but that's fine because our watch time was up 123 hours more than normal for this video. The click-through rate again was a lot lower. 1,300 more views than normal. The impressions, it doesn't even tell me how many more were normal. I can tell you with this many impressions over the first 2 days, it's insane. And from a view perspective, it's eclipsing even our most. And it's funny because every week I was putting in Slack, we broke another record, got another one of 10 that's beating everything. This just destroyed everything. So I don't know where this is going to go, but it's on track to beat our most watched video. So of course Rob wants to come back because he knows I'm going to put the collab feature on this from launch, and
Hell
we'll
yeah.
see. Now, a lot of you are thinking, okay, that's great. It's cool that it works, but I don't have a 2 million subscriber channel to collab with. That's okay. Because one of the things that we talk about on this channel is getting to know your community and getting to know your niche and being an expert in your niche. And with that should be knowing peers in your niche. You should know other people in your niche making content. And hopefully you have met and talked to some of them. If you have not, I'm going to give you an option to be able to do that right now. Very easy. Can you go down to the description of the show notes of this video, and there's a link for our Discord. It's a free thing you can do. There are thousands of creators in our Discord. It's free. If you've never done Discord before, it's free. That you can meet up with, and someone's going to be in your niche. I guarantee if you go into that Discord today, you will find someone in your niche. Find them. Now, you collab with them. The collab feature is pretty easy. The way it works is one of you, and you can make 2 videos. So like, let's say Rob, you want to make a video on your channel and I want to make a video on my channel about similar things. This is the way we used to do collabs, like in general. Like I would make a video that's like part 1 of something and go, you need to watch the second part of the video, go to Rob's channel. You can do the same thing here. You then go to the option in the, I think it's in the details. You invite a collaborator. You search for the YouTube channel name. Then it gives you a link. You just send that link over to the other person. They'll like click accept. And then if you post it on your channel, you get the monetization if you're a monetized channel. And the views come to that video. And they can do vice versa. It's too easy.
And the analytics are shared between both creators as well.
You can. You don't have to.
You don't have to, yeah.
Right. Well, can you see, matter of fact, I've shared some of them. Can you see them from your side? I'm not even sure how that works. What does that look like?
So if you go to the content section and then there's a new tab for collaborations.
That's where it is.
From there. I did have one more nerdy question or quiz for all of us. So if you're bored of this section, jump forward maybe 2 minutes. But Travis, going back to that video that was talking about where there was that massive impressions jump, right? Let's now talk about views, right? The video as a whole has 1,500 views right now. But my question to you is, what is the highest traffic source of views?
Okay, is this on the tutorial channel?
On the tutorial channel, yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm going to guess, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you my methodology because again, looking at the analytics from my side. So one of the things YouTube tells us about collaborations is that one of the places it's shown is in the subscription feed of both channels, which is great because like if you're collabing with a bigger channel, you can get some stuff there. So you should see that. However, what I've seen on our channel is the best traffic source, which is browse. For whatever reason, a lot of our impressions are coming through browse, and my guess is because it's not just showing it on the subscription feed, but it's also showing it to the channel. Now, for the vidIQ tutorial channel, you would think it was the same thing. I don't think it is browse. I mean, it should be browse based on all the knowledge I have. But I think, because I don't think it does suggested videos, right? Is it the subscription feed?
That's your final answer. You're locking that one in.
I mean, it's probably browse, but I'm gonna say the subscription feed.
Other
YouTube or other YouTube features that weird, where it doesn't even.
You are, I think, because you've given me about 12 answers now. You are correct.
All right, which one is it?
Now, it's a little bit convoluted because for some reason now, the subscription feed views are included in browse. I didn't think they were before. I thought it was its own separate traffic source. But anyway,
it should be.
I click on browse, where I get where 1,500 views come from browse. 798 of those views have come from subscriptions. So more than 50% of the views have come from subscriptions on a channel that had, at the time, probably less than 100 subscribers. And that is the evidence, I think the clearest evidence you can see that there is a significant influence of the collaborator sending traffic to your channel. And there's 51,000 impressions came from subscriptions alone. 25,000 impressions came from the home feed. So that is, again, 100% more impressions from a subscription feed than a home feed. Tells me that that's how collaborations are working predominantly, that you're getting more traffic through subscription sources. Their end of the geeky, nerdy out bit.
Okay, here's the thing. This was dumb because I should have known this answer. We literally talked about this in a meeting last week when I told people why this was happening and where to find it. And we just did this exercise on this, and I forgot about that conversation. I'm old, Rob. I forgot we literally had this conversation last week in a meeting, but it's true. They did put, for whatever reason, they put the subscription feed, which didn't used to be in Browse. It has its own.
I didn't think it was. Yeah, I thought it had its own source.
Well, they put it in Browse now, I think, because of this feature, I think. I mean, maybe. I used to be in the analytics all the time, so I feel pretty strongly that it did have its own traffic source. But I think because of this now, you're right. The Browse feature, which is technically where you want to be, it's like the quote algorithm. I mean, it's a fantastic feature. I'm so happy that with all these other things we've talked about, like the A/B thumbnail tool being kind of a bust, which, by the way, sparked a lot of conversation in the comment section of our last video, and stuff like that. This, to me, just feels like a boon. You're almost waiting for the other shoe to drop, but I don't think it's going to drop. I think it's a net positive.
Under-promised and over-delivered, and it's rare for that to happen.
I wonder if they even knew that. Like, did they know it was going to be? They must have known it was this good. Interesting. Here's one funny thing I just saw as I was looking through the analytics for that last video you and I were on. I was looking for that same page where I could show because I see browse features, but I don't remember how to break it down to show the subscription feed. Like, where do you go for that? I'm trying to find that.
It should be a clickable link.
Yeah, but is it on See More under the under the traffic source? Here, I'll actually share my screen so the people at home can watch.
You can share it to me, and you can share it to our YouTube audience.
Well,
all the listeners have probably checked out at this point, right? So, so let's go back. I would click on. So I'd scroll up, and I'd click on See More on the main graph section.
One. Yeah.
Then I'd do content at the very top. Very top.
Very top. Up here?
Up. No, up again.
Here?
There, and then go. Oh, sorry. That's for the whole channel, isn't it?
No, it's for this video. It says controls for this video, right? You don't control.
Yeah, but if you do reports, that's for all channels. I wasn't thinking when I looked at that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there somewhere. Here's what I think is funny for those watching on the YouTube channel. YouTube search terms. So, we do fairly well on YouTube search.
Sorry, SEO. I tell a lie, Travis. It does do it just for the video. So go back in.
Yep.
Then up there, down there, left, right, up, down, start. So traffic sources last 28 days.
Okay.
No, you've done top content.
You said okay. Up here?
No. Click on report again.
Report? Where is that?
Where you just were.
Up here? Okay.
There, and then it's the second option, traffic sources in last 28 days. Then click on browse features.
Then it opens up. It didn't used to be that hard to find. Okay. So as you can see here, 800 for this particular video already, 823 views, which is, but the impressions, 38,000 impressions from that, definitely coming from the main channel. And even though the click-through rate isn't super amazing for it when you compare it to the main, other stuff, the reality is these are impressions I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. This channel would not have gotten otherwise.
Let's add average view duration as well to that graph.
So average view duration is going to be lower because of the new things, but I think we should show this. So, wait.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. So subscriptions is down to 5 minutes, and that's that's our lowest besides personalized playlists, which is weird. Because of the new viewership. Our existing is like 11 to 15 minutes. But that's okay. So, like I said, and I'll show this. Click-through rate really low for us, 2.6%. But I don't care, because look how many more views I got. Audience retention, a lot lower than normal. But I don't care, because I gained subscribers. And I've now shown this channel to new people who've never seen it before, and now might be fans of the channel now, right? Like, so it's okay to take a hit on something, because people will go, oh, it killed my click-through rate. Oh, it killed my average view duration. Okay, but did you get more views? Yes. Okay. Well, isn't that what you wanted? Would you rather have a higher CTR and less views? Probably not. But I do like this. So you can look up YouTube search terms that people found that come to your video. And the number, third search term was Mr. Olympia 2025. I think that was you. Obviously, when they were looking at Mr. Olympia 2025,
Pew, 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 pew,
they
pew,
found
pew. Look at those
Rob
guns.
Wilson. So let us know, have you used the collab feature? If you're wanting to know other ways of using it, let us know. But I think what it's going to come down to is how to collab with other YouTubers. I've talked about this before, but if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't heard the podcast, I can't tell you which episode is on because we've done so many, and you want us to concentrate on it, we'll do another podcast about it because this feature is so powerful. I'm going to really encourage anyone out there who's listening to this to use it. Like, absolutely, this is finally a feature that I can, without hesitation, recommend to people and say, you should use this feature. Now, of course, who you collab with is a whole other conversation, because you shouldn't just collab with anybody who's bigger. That's not necessarily what you want, but it's a great feature. So working well on this channel, and I suspect it will work well for yours.
Yeah, I don't think it can harm any channels, but I do feel as if it might be powerful for the privileged, people who already have established people they can collaborate with or established channels that they can collaborate from. It would be amazing to see some small channel data of, like, 2 channels that have 500 subscribers each collaborating and having outlier videos. That would be astonishing and amazing to see. And we hope that happens.
I will also put out there that in my first year on YouTube, when I was still a small YouTuber, I managed to collaborate with a couple of large channels, including channels with over 1 million subscribers. That's a whole strategy in and of itself. Again, we'll save that for another time. So don't think that, oh, well, I'll never get to, you can. Like, if you have good content and you approach it correctly, you'd be surprised who will collaborate with you. But yes, absolutely look for people in your niche around your size. So let's go to some questions. If you're listening to the audio podcast, there is a link in the podcast to send us a text message on your phone, which is wild, but you can do it. And we're going to go to one of those text messages right now. Now, unfortunately, because of that, we don't know people's names, but that's all right. First text message comes in and says, I'm starting a channel around no budget short films I have made and no budget films making tips. Do you think it would be good or bad for my channel to post like movie ranking videos and reviews to help with consistency? So it sounds like while these things are somewhat connected, they're not exactly connected, because it says, I'm starting a channel around no budget short films that he has made. This person has made, or he or she, and no budget film making tips. So it's less about reviewing other videos and more about, like, well, this is stuff I've made, and here's how you can make stuff like that. What do you think about this?
I think there's quite a definitive line between education and valuable information versus culture and entertainment. And I think if you start to lean into the culture and entertainment side, which is ranking videos that you enjoy, it turns the viewing experience into something that might be more described as lean back, where somebody's just chilling out, watching something. They may be willing to learn something, but are they going to take action on it? Whereas your educational stuff about really enabling people to create stuff without a budget, they're kind of leaning forward because they're ready to take action on your advice. And I think they're in a different mindset of content consumption. Could you possibly blend the two? I guess it's possible, but the worry is, I think there is a possibility of one of your kind of listicle ranking movie ones going, well, it has more potential to reach a bigger audience and therefore go viral. And if that happens, then unfortunately your education side of things may be dead on that channel. I think that's the potential risk. But if it goes in that direction, you think, oh, cool, I'm just going to pivot to now being a movie review channel, then fine, that's cool. But then you're in limbo with the intent as suggested by the question initially.
Yeah, it's a good point, because you do want something that is interesting to a lot of people so that they'll come watch your other content, right? Like your core content. So it does make sense to do like reviews of other things. But if you go too wide or too off from what you are mainly going to be known for, you're not actually helping at all. So I like the thought process, and I think that there's something to it. However, ultimately, think about what you said your channel was going to be about, which is more about like you and like your specific thing. So before people care about you, they're going to want something from you, which would be things like reviews and stuff of other things that they care about. And then after watching a whole bunch of those, if they like and respect your opinion, then they might want to watch your stuff. But that means starting your channel the other way, not even doing stuff about your tips and stuff, because they're probably not going to get a lot of views right off the bat, and building up your audience first. But, you know, if you want to see movement on your channel, like if you're not, because I think the one thing about being a new content creator is you think you're going to get a lot of views right up front. And as a YouTube Shorts creator, you might, right? Like that might happen. But for the most part, 80-90% of creators that go out there and create a new YouTube channel don't get any views. That's just the way it is. So if you want to stack the deck in your favor, which is what I always advocate for, you got to go wide. Get them into the TP, so to speak. Get them into the house. Get them to like you. Feed them dinner. Then maybe they hang out and watch a movie with you. You know what I mean? Then you can, oh, that's a pun. You know, maybe they'll want to stick around and know more about you. But you're going to give them, you need to give them something first.
There's probably a better example of this, but I'm thinking of MKBHD, who has his main channel, and basically all he does on there is tech reviews, conversation about tech, etc., etc. But then he has a spin-off channel called The Studio, which is a more in-depth look at how he operates his channel with all of the team that's behind him, and talking about how to edit, you know, more educational, valuable stuff. But there's a clear delineation between the two, because the main channel has 20 million subscribers and videos get millions of views, but his studio channel has maybe 1 million subscribers or less, and they get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And so to blend them into one channel, they're probably going to be damaging each other in terms of audience interest if he did that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's why like some people will spin off channels. It makes sense in that instance. So I think you just need to really sit down and think, okay, what are you going to be comfortable making for years? In order to get an audience that's of a size that you might be able to spin off something else, you need, well, it depends on what your ideal of an audience is. If you're happy with 1,000 views per video on personal projects, it won't take as long. It'll take some time, but it won't take as long. But if you feel like you need like tens of thousands of views on stuff that's really only interesting to you, you need a big audience for that before that happens. I have helped creators do that in the past, but it took you know, a massive amount of success on the primary channel before we were able to spin off a channel that's more just about them. I think my most successful one was when I had a channel that I was helping, and they hit like a viral moment for a while, and I'm like, okay, we need to immediately start spinning off channels, because I knew, you know, one of the first things whenever I used to work with creators that had like their moments, things start blowing up, the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, what do we do when that momentum slows down? Like, how do we diversify? So I had them create a couple of new channels. They weren't even sure, they were no interest in doing it. The first channel that we spun off, before they uploaded their first video, had 20,000 subscribers, because we hit it at the exact perfect time. So it's doable. Like when you have these moments, this stuff is doable. I think it's super important though to always think about the long thing, like what the long play, like what are you going to be making this channel about 3 years from now? Is it going to be the same thing? And if so, are you going to be happy with that? And that's a much tougher question to answer.
One final thought, given that they're a channel all about how to make movies for free or on a budget, your world is being turned upside down right now with VO3 and Sora 2. So I don't know if you're going to go hard pivot away from it and like show how to continue doing these things in the real world, so to speak. I guess it's similar to how special effects in movies used to be done through miniatures, and now it's all CGI, but sometimes those miniature models still hold up today and look great, whereas CGI from 20 years ago now looks absolutely terrible. I think about Star Wars Return of a Jedi, still looks amazing to me because it was all shot through models. Anyway, I'm going down a bit of a garden path.
No, I love it. I love it.
Are you gonna embrace AI, or are you gonna hard pivot away from it and like tell people that I'm still going to be a creator in the real world doing it with $0. That could be a unique proposition going forward.
I agree. And there is something to that. But again, that becomes more about the person watching and less about you. It doesn't mean you can't do what you were saying. I just want to be clear. You can do exactly what you're saying, 100%. But your expectations need to be in line with what you're doing. If you're watching and you don't want to send us a text message, you want to send us an email, you can. theboost@vidIQ.com. The email address is theboost@vidIQ.com. And this one comes from Richard. And this is in reference to the video about that Dan and I did about YouTube views overall going down. Your explanation to what had happened in August doesn't hold water, at least not in my case. My impressions.
I think we should just end the questionnaire. Fine, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But yeah, exactly. My impressions dropped from about 900,000 in July and August when the drop started to about 75,000 in September. This was all while my CTR was going up. Okay, so a couple of things.
That's a big drop. That's 90% drop, they're saying there, right?
Yeah. So a couple of things before I even finish reading this. The video that he's talking about is, I think it's called like YouTube views are down. Here's why. First of all, go watch that video. It's great. We broke down an aspect of dropped views. I think the thing is Richard probably went in this thinking we were going to talk about his situation. Just because we talk about one thing doesn't mean it has anything to do with your situation. 9 times out of 10, when someone's views drops, it's a them problem. And I mean that, and I'm not saying that that's even in Richard's situation, but I'm just saying, as someone who has dealt with thousands of creators, 90% of the time, when their views go down, I go to their channel, I can tell you exactly why their views went down. We were talking about something that was happening to a very specific group of people and channels, and I think we were pretty clear in that. And it was pretty easily defined, and I believe still that exactly that's what happened for these channels. It might not be for your channel, and that's okay. That's a little bit like going to the doctor and saying, you know, my friend saw you and you fixed their elbow. My knee hurts. Help do the same thing you did for him. Well, it's your knee, not your elbow. So it's not the same thing. But let's keep reading. By the way, my CTR is up because of the advice I got when vidIQ reviewed my channel on one of their Tuesday channel in mid-September. I've been improving thumbnails and titles, working on my hooks, and trying to create videos that address what my viewers want to see. However, none of this explains why my impressions fell off a cliff. The advice was good and helped, I think, Cowboy Survival. So I can talk to this too. When you change things, things change. Impressions are YouTube trying to figure out who matches your content. Your CTR went up because you're connecting with the people who want to watch your content. A lot of impressions is the only way you can get views, right? Because you need impressions to get views. However, a lot of those impressions might be junk impressions. They might be impressions to people who would never watch your content anyway, but YouTube's still trying to figure that out. So, I mean, I can talk more about that, but let's keep reading. My channel is an outdoor camping, bushcraft, survival channel. My viewers are older, 40 plus. My viewers primarily use TV and mobile, not computers, to view my vids. Finally, my vids are not long vids. They average about 16 minutes long. I guess it depends on who you ask if that's long or not. It really depends, because some people say that's very long.
Feels like a long video. An hour.
So your explanation of an ad blocker does not hold water for my channel. And that's fair.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not true. So just because something doesn't apply to you doesn't mean that it's not true. It's, I think, very demonstrably true for the channels we talked about. And thinking about your viewership, it probably doesn't apply to them because the people that are probably watching don't have ad blockers. So yeah, of course. So your elbow hurts, but we were talking about knees. Now, as a business professor, my response is not to attack YouTube. My job is to try to figure out what YouTube is now rewarding to adjust my post strategy. I definitely believe that YouTube did something. I'm just not sure what it was. I believe in your case, of course, I haven't seen your channel specifically, that it's, and this is going to sound, I just need you to understand, I do this podcast to help people and not sugarcoat anything. I want to give you actionable advice and things that are real. I'm not going to sit here and say, all you got to do is just do this and everything will be better. No, sometimes it's a you problem. Now, is that the case here? I don't know that because I haven't looked at the channel, because that's a big drop. That's a big drop in impressions. And I agree, it's probably not related to what we talked about. Although we weren't, again, diagnosing your elbow, we were diagnosing a knee. But it's probably a different problem. And the things you started changing would, of course, change those things. So when you change anything, you should expect change, which includes impressions. Should you get a dip like this? No, but I don't know everything about your channel either. So I like that you're trying to figure it out, and that's exactly what you should be doing. But again, we weren't diagnosing your problem. We were diagnosing a different problem, just to kind of clear that up. But I like what Richard said here. He said a lot.
Can you imagine if in this very first line, it's a typo and it's impressions went from 900,000 to 750,000, not 75,000?
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? That would be answerable by, hey, that's seasonal.
Right.
You're a crafting channel. People aren't outdoors anymore because we're going from summer to fall. Or it could be that you had one video that was carrying a lot of a channel and that video has died off, hence why the impressions have dropped by, in that case, maybe 150,000 impressions. But to drop from 900,000 to 75,000 would always be alarming in such a short space of time. And the data must be able to reveal a bit more than what we can see here. And that would be, as we've just been playing around with the traffic sources, and when we're looking at the collaboration tool, I think some more investigation into that area of your channel may reveal if, like, because it could have been, you could have been getting tons of external traffic. Like you could have had a really popular Reddit thread and you were getting tons of impressions and views from there.
Could be shorts. Shorts can be hugely affected too.
Yeah, absolutely. Shorts can gift you in a day and then rob you in a second.
Yes.
In terms of like discoverability. As you say, it's your business to try and figure out why YouTube is not rewarding you or is rewarding you. So more investigation into the analytics would be my main answer to that. Other than that, everything else would be just speculation. And I'd like to not do that if I can.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, so there was a person who left a comment. I think I talked about this in the last episode, but I want to say it again because I think it's important. Because we see a lot of people that'll say, "Oh, I've done all these things, but my channel still isn't growing. Like you guys suck." And then you go to their channel, and inevitably, not all the time, and certainly not talking about Richard in this particular conversation. I've taken his comment off the screen, so you know I'm not talking about Richard specifically. But I've seen it so much that I have to comment on this. They never do any of the things we tell them. Like you go to their channel and you just know. I remember on a live stream one time, I challenged someone. Because they kept talking when we're doing the live stream audits, someone was like, "You guys never pick me," or whatever. I go, "Okay, we're gonna pick you next week, and if you don't do the things that we have been telling you to do on your channel, I see that I'm gonna roast you on this stream." And we went to their channel, and they immediately started copying people that we had audited the week before. So if I already knew that if I went to the channel, it was gonna be trashy, like I knew that, right? Not only was I right, they quickly tried to, and when I say copy, I mean. The week before, when I made that comment, we were auditing a channel. They went and stole that person's thumbnail style and then started doing it. And I'm like, bro, this is exactly what I'm talking about. YouTube is not easy. We are here to help you. And the advice will not always be rainbows and whatever. Like it's going to be real. And the reality is YouTube is hard. So if if things aren't working for you and you say you're doing the things that we tell you, you're probably not doing the things we tell you. You probably just think you are. Because if you're doing the things we're telling you, you're probably not even listening to us. You're too busy being successful a lot of the times.
Or to put it like maybe more like a more diplomatic way is like you're not trying anything new, regardless of whether it's our advice or someone else's, like doing exactly the same thing over and over again and expecting something different.
Oh my gosh. There you go. Yeah. Preach. Next email, theboost@vidIQ.com, comes from Matthew. Matthew says, "There's been so much talk about AI slop that I think many folks are missing the bigger picture. When used properly, AI can provide a level of excellence that would otherwise be unattainable. I use AI in my workflow. I frequently find that AI helps me refine my video ideas. I find AI to be a great sounding board to sort through them. I write my own scripts, but I do ask AI to edit them. I found that they dramatically improve my scripts. I have a decent microphone, but I'm hearing impaired and mixing and mastering audio is hard for me. So I use an AI processor that makes my mic sound 10 times better. I do sometimes generate AI clips for comedic effect when I can't find what I want in stock footage. The fact is AI is honestly part of the joke. My channel is tiny, but I'm proud of what I put out. Hiring a professional YouTube coach, editor, sound engineer, and actor is out of my reach. I can use AI to execute ideas better. Although once my channel's monetized, I'd love to invest in vidIQ coaching. Link in the description below. The thing here is that all of the uses of AI involve significant human input. It's not a one sentence prompt. It's giving me access to quality that I would not have to be able to, you not be able to do otherwise. I think we're so focused on the floor being lowered that we've missed the ceiling being raised. I feel like there's a handful of people that succeed using one sentence prompt videos, but it's going to be too competitive to be lucrative for most folks. I think the most productive thing is to explore how AI is used to achieve new levels of excellence. I 1,000% agree with this, and have been telling people they should be using the script thing that we have here on vidIQ, because I think it's one of the coolest things we've ever created. 100% agree with Matthew.
I think it comes down to late 2022 and the release of ChatGPT being an inflection point as to the interpretation of what AI means, because AI wasn't invented when ChatGPT came out. Like, if you've used a green screen on one of your videos in the last 20 years, you've been using AI. Like, if you've been using any of vidIQ's tools before 2022, you've been using AI. The challenge is that because the barrier of entry suddenly dropped 30,000 feet with like one tool, ChatGPT, the perception of it has just changed completely. Now, a lot of people see AI as the enemy, or it's the enabler to bad actors, which unfortunately, yes, there is that element. But I think as Matthew's saying there, like if as long as the human continues to drive the AI tools to create something that connects to the human viewer at the end of a process, then in the long run, hopefully, if YouTube, TikTok, Sora themselves all make sure that these algorithms are still trying to satisfy in some positive and transformational way the viewer, then we, fingers crossed, should be okay. But I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, given the volume of new creators with not malicious intent, but it's like they've found the shortcut now, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to see where I can go with these shortcuts.
That's the thing. And like I said, I use AI for a lot of different things frequently, like descriptions and stuff like that. I love it to get a bunch of data and to kind of give you the gist of it. It's amazing. Highly recommend using AI for that purpose. I don't think we're downplaying that at all. Obviously, vidIQ is a company. We have AI products, and we love it. So I think that it's just a very controversial subject amongst creators, and it really, to be honest, shouldn't be. I understand the polarizing nature of it, but it is a tool. There are aspects of it that are really good and will save you time. If you don't want to use though for the creative part of the process, that's fine. I think that's good. I think you should try to be creative. It's great. But there are parts of this process I guarantee you don't like that AI can help you with. I mean, there's very few people that love every part of the process. If you script it, whether or not you script or not, shooting, editing, thumbnail design, description, SEO, like there's very few people that like every single bit of it. And AI can at least help you do the things you don't like. When once upon a time we would say hire somebody, which not many of us can do.
I'm certainly using Sora and VO3 at the moment to create clips. I think it's similar to Matthew, like just purely for comedic value. I'm not treating it as serious, factual footage that you should believe in. It's like I'm using it intentionally for humor's sake or entertainment purposes at the moment. I mean, that might change in the future, but I can't see that being the case for me personally.
Final email today comes from Angela. Hi, Travis and team. My name is Angela, and my partner Danny and I started a van life YouTube channel called Let's Go Free in June of 2025. Hey, congrats. Have you guys heard of toffee? It's a hazelnut and chocolate in toffee situation. Highly recommend. I've never heard of it.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't know that I like toffee in the first place. And hazelnut, I don't like any kind of nut. So, no,
bingo. I'm with you there.
We appreciate the suggestion anyway.
Sorry for alienating you, Angela, before you ask your question. Let's proceed.
Right. Thank you. We don't like it. Our question is about TAM. New term for us. Thanks, Rob. That's a total addressable market. In our niche, there are loads of van life couples logging their journeys, but only a handful are same-sex couples like us. Oh, okay. Ooh. The broader space feels pretty saturated. our content isn't centered around our sexuality. It's just a natural part of our life.
Yep.
But we could lean more into it in titles and thumbnails to connect with a community that we know will be supportive. Or we could aim for a wider van life audience and compete in a bigger pool, quantity versus quantity, I suppose. Any advice? And then the rest of the email was really long. It was specifically Rob related about going to Crete, because you said you're going to Crete soon.
Yeah.
Gave a whole bunch of great
like
feedback.
500 words long, and like we now have our meals planned for the entire week. And not one of them suggested tofufi as a drink.
There's probably a reason for that. This is a great question. So should they lean into that part of their life? I think that there's something to it to kind of differentiate yourself. I don't know. Like, what do you think? What are your first feelings on this?
Yeah, it's a good question, this. Is there a community of same sex couples, van life vlogging, who are underrepresented on YouTube?
It's a good question.
And if that is the case, then yeah, potentially there is the thought of leading into that as to uniquely brand yourself in this competitive niche. But does this perhaps depend on the channel size at the moment?
I'll give you my honest advice. Yeah. I don't really care. And what I mean by that, not in a disrespectful way, but let me say it like this. Show me interesting stuff. If I end up liking you and your partner as people, like just kind of like you're fun to watch together, that's cool. I mean, we can tell me more about your relationship, but like do it in a way that's entertaining. Like I don't even think you need to lean into it specifically. Let me be very clear about this. I can watch anything as long as it's entertaining. And maybe you two are really funny together. Maybe you guys have like these really funny interactions. Like, show me that. You don't need to like lean in specifically to being a same-sex couple. Like, I don't care. Like, just show me something fun and interesting and entertaining. And then let me just love that for that. And then I'll fall in love with you guys just as people doing the thing that I like. Like,
yeah, it's someone is. I'm not sure if the narrative that you've described is powerful enough for the people who are watching van life content to care in a way that it influences whether to watch you or not. My wife watches channels where there's like same sex couples who they do show house tours. So they're going around the states and showing people new builds for houses. And like I don't think they make their sexual orientation like relevant, but right. But obviously it's there and you get it, and it's like, it's fair enough, cool, it's fine. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Now maybe they may do a video specifically talking about that topic if enough people ask about it in their videos, and sure, like if there is an audience demand for it. But I don't know if it, as I said, I don't know if it's powerful enough to build your branding around that part of the interest of the channel.
I don't think it matters as much as you think it would be a hook. I think it's cool. That's fine. And again, I think what Rob said was really powerful. It's like you just kind of watch and you're just like, yeah, it's okay, got it. But is that enough to hook me? It's like, not really. Like, give me something interesting. Like, if the interaction between you two is interesting, fun, intriguing, educational, I'm more interested in that. I understand what you're saying. You want to represent, and I think that's great. I think it's fantastic. But you can do that by just being an excellent channel. Just by being a really excellent channel, you already are representing. So I feel like you don't have to worry about that as much. I don't think you shy away from it at all, but I don't think you need to
I think that's the most important thing, isn't it? That it should not be something that you have to hide in your content. I guess we're trying to think about the other thing. Is it something that you promote and celebrate? And like, I don't know if that, in the context of van lifing, I don't know if it needs to be, unless you feel that from your audience, you feel that kind of influence and feedback, kind of asking you to explore that side of your journey,
your lifestyle. Yeah. And I think it's important that The full answer is you will know the answer more than we will.
Really important. If you can subscribe, it really does help the channel. No, it doesn't.
Finding something you just really enjoy doing is always going to be better for you in the long term because A, you're just going to have fun. And B, if it turns out to be successful, you're in a great spot.
That is worth more than 1,000 views in an hour.
We are creators, but we're also directors, writers, actors, editors. So we actually have a lot to offer. First question is from Steven. To my favorite podcast, I have a simple question that hopefully has a simple answer. Would love to know your thoughts. When posting a long form video, what is the best category to select?
I know the answer.
I figured you do.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me finish reading this. For some context, I have a gaming channel called Single Player Lounge. First of all, I like that name. Where I do game pickups, unboxings, and reviews. Recently, my wife, got married and plays video games. How is this a world? I want this world. I went out game hunting on our anniversary. Wait, and she didn't divorce me? What is going on? So well
played. This guy's beat the final boss and everything.
No kidding. Do not let her go. So most of the video is around what we find and pick up, but there's a little bit of what also we do as well, which makes it feel like a vlog.
Yeah.
Would it be better to leave it as the gaming category of people vlog, and how would changing affect the right audience? Thanks for all you do. Keep us motivated. Okay. I think this goes into that YouTube frequently will label things and either they used to mean something, or they're just trying to make it clear and they've actually made it more muddy. They seem to do this a lot.
So if you load up the YouTube homepage or you tap on the YouTube app, you'll see these little chips at the top of the feed that are more granular than YouTube categories. And so I think that proves that YouTube is being more selective with how they define content other than those categories. There's also a new tool that's come out called the hype feature, where you would, and these hype, and how it works is that you hype videos and then they're ranked on different leaderboards. And these leaderboards are divided by categories. None of those categories in those leaderboards relate to the categories that you set on your video. I think at this point, it's safe to say that the categories drop down in the YouTube studio is about as useful as video tags in that maybe they do something, maybe they don't, but it probably has a 0.1% impact on the video, in my opinion.
There used to be, and I'm looking for it. There used to be a help page about this, and they were very clear that it didn't do anything. They actually said that it was more helpful for like ads and stuff.
Advertisers, yeah, that's the legacy understanding of it I have.
But the question now is like, does it even do that now? Because a lot of these things change over time. Like they'll make these changes to the way YouTube works, and then the old stuff doesn't work the way. And here, as a software company, vidIQ, like that happens all the time. We got stuff doesn't work the way it was supposed to at the beginning. And I do remember specifically reading that help page a long time ago where it was like, this is just for that. It doesn't have anything to do with where your video will show up. There's a ton of videos out there that are just set to the, what is the generic thing when you first put out this entertainment or something? When you very first set up a YouTube channel.
I think, isn't that at the top of the categories, but you have to pick one to begin with?
Yeah, I can't even remember, but it's something non-specific. It's not going to keep you from getting views. Let's just say the easy thing. Let's just say the thing you really want to know. It's not going to help keep you from getting views. It's not going to help you find the right audience. YouTube is set up in a way that it will try to find the right audience in spite of anything you do to mess it up. Like it's trying to find the audience regardless. So in a lot of ways, I could say you can't mess it up. I don't want to say that because I feel like I could be proven wrong. But it'd be very difficult to mess up a video to make it not work because I told this story a while back, and I might have even told it to you, Rob. But years ago, when KSI had a boxing match, and he was streaming it, there were people streaming it on YouTube, and they kept getting taken down in real time.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is, at one point, it was a cat and mouse game. The uploaders and restreamers of this live stream were naming it things that had nothing to do with KSI.
Okay.
As a human, you kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? And thumbnails that had nothing to do with the fight, but they would continue to get served, and people kept finding them. And that's even more of an interesting thing than what this category thing is, because you're putting videos out there that say they're not anything to do with it, but YouTube's algorithm knows what it is and still serves it. So even in spite of all of those things, it still found the right audience. So yeah.
if I was to give like a final answer on this, if your category is usually gaming, if you leave it there, I think you're perfectly fine. If you decide to put it on people and vlogs or whatever you're thinking of changing it to, you're not wrong. You should be fine. And what I think is cool is that this creator is exploring more things and kind of expanding the I guess the law of their channel, in that they're doing something with their wife. Do they usually do that on a channel? If not, that's cool to introduce someone else to your community. And the fact that you're having these kind of storytelling moments in the video, which I think is cool, because it sounds like you're not going to package the video in a way of, you're not packaging it as a vlog, but it's going to have vlog elements in it. So you're testing new storytelling techniques within your videos. And I commend you for doing that. And I hope it performs well.
I would also say that if your wife is up for it, I would actually make her more a part of the channel, if that's something that you'd be okay with, because it makes it more interesting. It's not just the normal gamer thing you see everywhere. A husband-wife gaming channel is a lot more rare. You'll have a lot less competition, and it might be more interesting. Furthermore, like what Rob said, I like that you're trying to do other things, and it's smart from a longevity standpoint, because rather than getting people to come in and be interested in just the game you're playing, they're getting interested in you, which is the only way you're going to be able to jump from game to game and still have any type of audience. If people come for you and not the game, hopefully that helps. All right, so that's first one down. Ken, the boost at vidIQ.com. If you want to send us an email, you can do that there, and we will try to answer it. And this next one comes from Brendan. Hey guys, hope all is well with all of you. I'm relatively a new subscriber, but I've been watching your videos like crazy. I've already picked up a couple of really solid tips. I repurposed an old YouTube channel that I was using to watch daily content into a shorts channel. First of all, I think most of us have done that. I repurposed my channel from just a watching channel. My first upload was August 7th, and it performed well, hitting the shorts feed and getting over 1,000 views. We can always talk about what that actually means, because, of course, views now versus views a year ago, two different things, but okay. Yeah. It has good impression rate and good retention as well, but it just kind of died. No more impressions and no more views. The next 7 uploads have garnered under 25 views and minimal impressions, no shorts feed. Looking at other channels in my niche, I believe that my content is much more appealing and stands out. Some people have posted 4 times and have had 2 800 videos and 2 duds, where it feels like I've hatched 7 duds now. Also, I know that my videos are gradually getting better in terms of editing, stickers, titles, and descriptions. I went through ChatGPT meta checklist, and there's no issues. ChatGPT said that after 10 uploads, I should get more impressions, but I need to stay consistent. Is this permanent? Why do some questions break out of the face sooner? Do you have any tips? So this, and while this is specific to shorts, really, to be honest, this could be talked about for long form, because it's all about getting an audience and then being, like, we don't know anything about your specific channel. We don't know whether or not, of course, everyone feels like they're getting better as they do more content. We'll take your word for it. We don't know that to be true, but we'll take your word for it. But also, we don't know what your content is, because what if we watch it and we're like, I don't understand that, but it makes sense to you. Like, you made it, so everything in the video makes sense to you. But when someone else on the other side of the screen looks at it, they go, I don't understand. I don't get the point. It's not as entertaining. That's where the rubber meets the road. Rob, let's talk a little bit about the shorts views. And since this is a newer creator, they may not know this, that the shorts view numbers changed in the last year or so, right? When, was it like last year? When was that? Or this year?
6 months ago. It was like March time. They went from you having to watch a short for a certain period of time, depending on how long the short was. For example, let's say the short was 30 seconds. You might have to watch that short for actually 5 or 6 seconds for it to count as a view. Now that's not relevant. Like, you can just, it's not very good for an audio podcast, is it? There you go. Just swiping through shots as fast as you can, they count as a view. So does that actually mean it's a view these days? Could be argued. The value of an engaged view versus a view, look in your analytics for that to see how many views you're actually getting. And just to be honest, 1,000 views on a single short is still a teeny tiny sample size of data for YouTube to work with. It is curious that you had one short that did well and then the rest have been duds. It goes back to your question, Travis, of like, what's the topic and what's the nature of the content? Because what I have seen, and I'm not saying this is necessarily what you've done, but what I have seen is when people are repurposing content from elsewhere, downloading clips, football highlights, that type of stuff. One video may really take off, but then it may be suppressed. And again, I'm kind of speculating here. It may be suppressed by YouTube's discovery because it's seen and treated as repurposed of repetitious content. If that is not the case, like you're fully making it 100% it's authentically you, then we have to go into the typical questions of, are the topics related? You think your video is awesome, but the other channels that you're comparing yourself to might have a bit of background and history and have built up a community. It's incomplete information as always, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, short form versus long form, kind of same thing. And yeah, you will see some videos pop off while others don't. And quite frankly, the fact that you got 1,000 views very early on is actually the opposite. What you should see is what you're seeing now, especially as a new channel. Very few impressions, very few views, and then over time you get like a pop off. And that's kind of the thing with shorts is it sometimes sets an unrealistic expectation of what you should expect to see. The reality is 99% of the people that upload, their first couple of videos or shorts are going to see almost nothing for quite a while. Even this podcast channel itself, I remember we talked about very early on that for the first like almost week, even though we uploaded 2 or 3 videos right off the bat, it had 2 impressions, period. 2 impressions, not views, impressions for a long time. And it just takes a while for it to find the right audience. Now, if it doesn't find the right audience, there might be a reason for that. And it is hard to take yourself out of your own shoes and go, is that video really better than mine? You might be right. Your email might, you said you're very confident that your content is better. You might actually be right. You might actually be right. But they also probably have a larger audience, in which case it's easier for them to find, it's easier for YouTube to find an audience to watch their content versus you who are brand new and just coming out. And it's not to say that these videos won't get views later. We actually have shorts that get views to this very day. They were put out how long ago? Year, 2 years, whatever. Mm-hmm. You said a large portion, I think, Rob, of our shorts get search views, which means they didn't get them right off the bat. They're getting them over time.
I was doing.
Yeah. So just because you didn't get the views now doesn't mean you won't get them later. And so just keep pressing on and keep continuing to be better every time out.
We often encourage creators with long form content to, make 25 videos over a 6-month period without looking at the analytics too much. Like, don't download the YouTube Studio at this point, because if you're refreshing your video 3 hours after it's gone live and it's got 7 views, that can be a bit demoralizing. And I always want to find out first from the creator, do you love YouTube? Do you love waking up in the morning with a new idea and making a video, regardless of how many people watch it? I feel as if get through that stage of, that rite of passage. And if after 6 months you're still saying to yourselves, I guess in your case, maybe after you've made 100 shorts, I still love making shorts. I know they're not performing that well, but I'm getting better with every single one that I make, and I'm learning new techniques and skills, and I feel as if I'm becoming a better storyteller. Just enjoy that period of innocence before you then have the pressure of all these people hoping and expecting that your next video is as good as the previous one. Because it doesn't last for long. If you stick at it on YouTube, the pressure of not being discovered is soon changed by expectation. And that's a scary thing as well.
Yeah, I've talked about this before, and it's a massive thing that especially newer creators don't recognize. Is the story I always tell is when I very first started, I considered a video successful when it had 100 views. I'm like, holy crap, 100 views, that's a lot of people. And if a video ever made it to 1,000, I would never think about it again because it so surpassed my expectation. Yet later in my career, if I didn't get 1,000 views in 30 minutes, I was really upset. So, finding something you just really enjoy doing is always going to be better for you in the long term, because A, you're just gonna have fun, and B, if it turns out to be successful, you're in a great spot. You're doing something you already love. You're not doing things you don't like. The worst thing you can do, and I've talked to many creators that have done this, is make a video just because it's a popular thing to do and they don't really care for it, and it pops off, and now that's your channel. Congratulations, you played yourself. Not exactly great.
A decade ago, I go to bed at night and think, if this video that just went live gets 300 views tomorrow, I'll be happy. Fast forward 10 years, we get around about 10,000 views an hour on the channel, which means that, if you try and figure that out, there's probably 4 or 5 people in the world watching me right now, 24/7. I'm still not satisfied.
All right.
I want 100 people watching me all of the time.
Yeah.
It just never ends.
It's the human nature of YouTube that no one ever really tells you when you're trying to grow your channel, that like this is a thing you need to keep in check as best you can, because it's a thing that doesn't go away, and it's not even anything that YouTube specifically. The thing is, I feel like YouTube contributes to this in a way accidentally, because we just see numbers going up. We know a bigger number, quote, equals good, right? But we don't actually attach humans to those numbers, even though we should. Imagine if 50 of those people were in the room with you saying, "I love your videos." You probably would never, you probably think you're the most amazing person in the world. Like you wouldn't even think, oh, I only got 50 views. You'd be like, holy crap, I got 50, you see 50 people in here and they love me. And it anonymizes the connections. That's why I talked about a couple episodes back where some of the comments people have left me were so impactful, because you start to put the connection with the fact you're connecting with people. And it's not just a number. If it's a number, you can go, I want that number to be bigger. If it's like people, it's harder to downplay that. I think that's really important.
In the first hour, I used to check like click-through rate and view count and the of 10 of a video. And what I'm trying to do more these days, Travis, is go into the comments and see what our regular viewers are first commenting on. And so now I'm trying to be more grounded in, as you said, like the transformation, the impacts we hopefully have in a positive and a motivational sense for our audience. And when I see a comment such as like, oh, I needed this video today, right now, or like this video is speaking to me, like,
yeah,
I'm trying to say that is worth more than, 1,000 views in an hour.
All right, next one. Hi, vidIQ crew. I've been taking advantage of vidIQ's free thumbnail and title rating tool. My scores have been 82 for title and 87 for thumbnail. Can you help me interpret how good or average scores these are? I've only posted 2 videos on my channel, and both have got practically identical scores. I'm curious to know how I'm doing it with rates of how other people are doing. Thank you for doing a great job. So, every once in a while, I want to talk a little bit about the vidIQ software. You can get access to it for free, vidIQ.com. That is something that we do here, and we love to help people out. And the score thing is very interesting, because I think you have to understand what the tool's trying to do. The tool is trying to point you in a direction. It's not necessarily trying to say good, bad, and different. It's pointing you in a direction. And we do spend, our engineers spend a lot of time tweaking that thing to make it even better and better, and look at what your thumbnail is doing, your title is doing. But ultimately, the real arbiter of all that is the viewer. So these tools are great for people who just have no idea. Like, I don't know what my title should be at all. And it will definitely point you in the right direction. Same thing with the thumbnail. Like, we're going to help you move in the proper direction. There is no, like, quote, good average number. Because you remember, in a vacuum, these numbers don't exist at all on YouTube. It's something that vidIQ came up with to kind of help put you in the right direction. So I think when you're in the 80s and 90s, you're in the right direction. You just need to look at, does that thumbnail now make sense in the niche that you're in? What would you say? This is always difficult for us because we don't directly work with the software. We have to like explain the software after the fact. Like, what are the things that you think of when you come across stuff like this?
I mirror what you say, Travis, in that whether it's our tools, somebody else's tools, or YouTube itself, judging the success of a video by an individual or isolated score is just going to drive you crazy. In the same sense that you could look at your YouTube analytics and say, well, this video got 20% click-through rate. Why is it not doing better than it should be? And then I go back to, again, what you said, Travis. Like, if you're getting like higher scores on our tools, then what it's pointing towards is, hey, you're not doing something completely stupid here. Like, you've used a custom thumbnail. First of all, thumbs up. It probably isn't cluttered with too many elements. That's probably a good thing as well. It's using colors that combine with each other nicely. You're probably doing something that's well. But it can't mind read your viewers and your target audience and exactly what they're looking for and what they need. Hopefully, as our tools become more sophisticated and we have more data, we'll be able to continue to improve on them. But yeah, as you say, Travis, these are tools. These are not on and off buttons like right and wrong. This definitely means something's going to work. But we appreciate you using our tools. And like, hey, if you have feedback, if you think this score seems arbitrary and it's not really helping me, we want to hear that feedback so we can improve it even further.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Tell us, let us know. We're always improving. And the devs are like, we get to look at Slack all the time and they're constantly adjusting everything. It's really, really awesome to see.
It's funny actually that we created a Slack channel like about 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the developers said, "Hey, creators, if you have any ideas, send them our way." And I replied and said, "You do realize you're opening up the floodgates here?"
Yeah.
And then within like 24 hours, whoosh!
Yeah.
They got a ton of suggestions, and that's why you've seen, particularly in the Chrome extension, some big updates and improvements to existing tools, like the scorecard, the real-time stats thing, which is still my personal favorite of vidIQ. That's had a big upgrade. The thumbnail preview tool, which we kind of neglected for a few years. You click on it now, and it's like, holy smokes, I can customize this completely and see what my thumbnail is going to look like in all different shapes and sizes. So yeah, if you haven't tried our Chrome extension for a while, browser extension, give that a try because it's looking pretty damn fine these days.
There's a link in the description and in the show notes if you've never done that. It's right there. Go ahead and click it, install it. It's really great. One of our last emails is from Angie, new listener. I love the podcast, but I'm sad to say I've binged all of them and now have to wait for weekly uploads. That seems impossible. I don't know. That seems impossible.
All the way back to the Jeremy Vestas. Do we still have them?
Yeah, they should all be in the audio podcast.
Goodness,
I think Angie's talking about the YouTube channel. I can't imagine she's talking about the audio podcast.
Okay, fair enough.
No way you've listened to all the audio podcasts, but YouTube, okay, maybe. As far as Cadbury cream eggs versus candy corn, you're both missing the mark. Sour Patch watermelon all the way. Have you ever had that?
I can feel that. Yeah, Sour Patch treats.
Sour Patch, is that something you can get in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
the Sour Patch variant of candy, yeah, definitely.
So Sour Patch is worldwide. Okay. Did you have Sour Patch cards? Did you have those?
No, they're not familiar.
Okay. I have a shout out and a question. First, I want to give a huge shout out to my former vidIQ coach, Antonio. Antonio was amazing, by the way. Antonio, incredible guy, who I worked with for the first part of 2025. He convinced me to separate my channel into two and niche down on both. Because of this painful but needed change, I was recently approached by 2 different companies, each asking me to produce some custom videos for them. I'm in the education. Nice. That's amazing. One for each of my niches, totally out of the blue. Thank you, Antonio. This would have never happened without his advice and encouragement. We need to get that message over to Antonio.
I've just screenshotted it. I'm sending it into the Slack channel right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now for my question. How do I negotiate and make sure I'm getting paid what I deserved? What are the important things to keep in mind when I'm entering into contracts like this? ChatGPT has been incredibly helpful reviewing contracts and giving me talking points. This is all new to me. I'm a small but growing creator with 6,400 subs on one channel and 1,000 on my newest. Would love any advice. Angie, if you've watched all the episodes, I have to imagine you watched the one with Justin Moore, which is going to be your North Star for this conversation. I will also talk about my experience, and Rob, you can give me your advice too. But for sure, when it comes to this type of thing, 100% watch the Justin Moore episode. It will be a great place. He's also got a book and some other things. He's an incredible guy that wants people to make more money, wants creators to make more money, and tells you how to kind of do that. Having said that, first of all, congratulations, and it really just proves something that I want to actually do in a future episode about smaller creators doing big things. And this is a channel, this is a person with a channel under 10,000 subscribers is being approached by companies to do things like sponsorship stuff. That's incredible. That also just goes to show the power of what we do. We are creators, but we're also directors, writers, actors, editors. We're all these things that these companies have to pay individual people for, but we're in one package. So we actually have a lot to offer. I would also say that once you figure out where it is you want to be on like the money side of things, which could be an affiliate deal. It could be something simple like that. Like, I'll get you this many sales and you give me this back or whatever it is. The rule of thumb is this, and I've told this story before. You probably heard it. If you tell them a number and they say yes right away, you just undershot yourself. You just shot yourself in the foot. I've done this many times. One time I shot up a number and I'm like, there's no way they're going to pay it. And they immediately said yes. And I'm like, don't, because that means I probably could have got double. So that's number one. Like if you put out a number and they immediately accepted it, you shot too low. Secondarily, I think you kind of look at like what's realistic if you want them to be an ongoing thing or if you just want it to be one-off. If it's ongoing, I always try to snag them, and I think Justin talked about this, for more than one engagement. So more than one video, because there's 2 reasons for this. Number one, you should be able to get more money out of it if you like, instead of doing one for like 500, I'm not saying that's how much you charge, but let's say one for 500, you could do 3 for like 1,000. And while that's not 500 each, they were probably never going to give you 1,000. But if you give them a value, then they might actually give you $1,000. You just do 3 videos rather than one for 500. So look to make a deal for them so that they want to come back to you, and also gives you a chance to succeed, because ultimately they will come back to you if they see value in what they paid for. If you do a one-off and it doesn't go well, you may never hear from them again. You want to hear from them if they're a good company and you enjoy dealing with them. You want to give them a deal so that they want to come back and you have a constant flow of money. I've done this with multiple sponsors that I've worked with for years. Could I have gotten a lot more money up front the first time? Probably, but I may never have worked with them again. But over the aggregate, over the years, I've definitely made more money by not being too greedy up front. Justin might tell you a different way to do it, but that's been my experience. Rob, what do you think about when you see questions like this?
So this might be complete frontier gibberish, because I have never really had to go through this sponsorship brand deal process in my life as a content creator. I know that might be hard to believe, but essentially the story is I made a video about a vidIQ tool. Rob Sandie, the CEO, contacted me and he said, "Do you want to work for vidIQ?" And I thought, well, I'm never going to have to worry about any brand deals or sponsorships ever again. So the answer is yes. The funny thing is, talking about how you undervalued yourself, Travis, I think this is where the loyalty and the trust came in. I don't know if I've told you this story before, but when we were first negotiating like an hourly rate here at vidIQ, Rob said, like, how much are you going to charge? And like, I had no idea. I've never charged an hourly rate. I don't know what I'm doing here on YouTube. I never thought I'd be able to do anything freelance. Creative voice. So let's say $25 an hour. And he said, no, I'm going to pay you $45 an hour.
Wow.
So I'd undervalue myself. And he said, no, I think you're worth more than that. And that's from that moment on, I've had that trust and that relationship with Rob at vidIQ. So like, thank you. Now, going back to the topic in hand, as I say, this may be completely rubbish, but my thought would be that just to get some experience of negotiating a deal, might you offer a bit of like not a bargain, but like a good deal for them, but like only a singular video so that you gain some experience, but you don't permanently undervalue yourself? Is that something to consider? I don't know. Another thing to think about is like we have no idea how to price this, because irrespective of how many views you get, there's a big difference between promoting an energy drink and luxury cruises. Like selling luxury cruises, you should be charging a huge amount from those 1,000 views, because you only need like 20 people to buy the luxury cruise for it to be very valuable to them. And then there's the other thing, like, do you just charge by the video, or do you charge through an affiliate deal, like a recurring income in perpetuity? There's all these little particular things to consider. So those are just my thoughts. I don't know if they're useful or not.
I think between what we've said and what Justin says, you should have a good idea of where to go. I would love to hear a follow-up on this. So after this is all said and done with, and you've done the promos and you've kind of have a story to tell, we'd love to hear you. Send another email to us. We would love to hear from you.
It's just awesome to hear that somebody's now turning their skills into a business rather than just a passive income from ad revenue. I mean, that's all well and cool, but now you're being approached.
Yeah,
people are giving you offers. I was going to say also my other thought was ask Antonio. Surely he can give you the best.
Well, Antonio isn't here anymore, right? Like, so he's not at vidIQ anymore, but he's around. No, he's not around anymore. He's off to big things, man. I see him in ads all the time. Like, I'm on Facebook and he's on ads every other day. It's weird. It's crazy. He's a great guy though. I really enjoy Antonio. Last one. So a couple of months back, I forgot about this until this email came in. I encouraged people to send us video questions, and we did an episode with that, and it was cool. And I forgot about it, and someone sent in a video question. Now, this video question is like 3 minutes long. We're gonna watch the whole thing because why not, right? It's only 3 minutes.
We'll give him the watch time.
Right, we'll give him the watch time. It's cool because he goes over a couple of things that I think we can talk about after the fact. But this one is from Chris. Let me go ahead and share this, and let's give him a watch and see what he has to say.
Hello, Tren, or Trob, or Tran, or Teresa, whoever you've got co-hosting. I just wanted to basically say I've jumped on YouTube coaching. It's taken me 3 years to make the plunge, and I just wanted to sort of talk about what your viewers probably experienced over the years that you start off like I did. It was like Minecraft content, and you know the title was Minecraft My World Part 1. Description: me playing Minecraft. That was it. Post, see what happens. Expect world domination. It doesn't go like that. And over time, I realised that every little thing you put on the YouTube upload sheet is crucial. Like the other day I had a short about a TTRPG role-playing game that isn't out yet. It's kicked, so it had no name recognition. And it had sat for 15 hours with 12 impressions, and then I put D&D in brackets, Dungeons and Dragons, because that's kind of roughly what it is. And suddenly I had 1,000 impressions. It kicked it off. It's like every little bit of data that you choose to put on your video matters. Like you say, the click. Try to get someone to put their finger on the phone to click, and it's all psychology, and it's in one way terribly, terribly hard. There are loads of people you can hear about on other podcasts with 50 titles for one video, 50 thumbnails for one video, and it really can make the difference. It does make the difference, and yet there's a midpoint, isn't there? And I think that's where I am, trying with multiple thumbnails, 3 thumbnails, trying with maybe 1 or 2 titles, and having enough success where I'm happy. I know a dozen of the names who comment regular. I'm making some money every month. And yeah, it's like subscribers don't matter. It doesn't matter that I've got nearly 3,000 subscribers if I'm only getting 200 views. You should be counting by either views or by likes, And it's not really, this isn't really a question. This is just all those things that we listen to your podcasts, we listen to other podcasts, and it just doesn't get acted upon. It's crucial, and you have to keep testing and finding, and you have to enjoy it. Subscribers used to matter, now they don't. Just like, how would you make a question out of this for your podcast? What would the headline be of your podcast if you had to title this as a video? It's me rambling about YouTube. And then you go, if this was my video and I had to go to YouTube, I'd have to then come up with some cunning title and cunning thumbnail trying to get people to click. It's a game, isn't it? You've got to gamify it. Anyway, I'll see what you do with that. So yeah, all the advice in the world only goes so far. It's what you listen to and act on and learn. So yeah, hey, good luck with it all. Thank you, and I'll see you later.
All right, so I think the title should be Rob Wilson from vidIQ's doppelganger rambles on about metadata and if it's important on YouTube.
How many people are going to click that? Thank you for that, Chris. He said a lot of things, which I think were really critical. First of all, subs don't matter. I love how he said that.
Yeah, it was correct about that. Can't disagree there.
We actually, did we do a video about that? I know we've talked about it a lot. You say that a lot, and I think it's so important for people to understand that, especially when you're new, because I remember before I started doing YouTube, I remember watching a channel had 10,000 subscribers. I remember at the time thinking, wow, that's a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
And when I saw they had videos that had like 200 views, I was floored. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you don't have like 10,000 views every video? Like I had no idea. Yeah, no, that's not a thing. That one does not equal the other. So it is very, I love hearing that a creator that's listening to the podcast gets that, because it's so critical. And then also what you said earlier about having fun. You said the same thing.
Yeah. It still grinds my gears when some people say midway through the video, I've just noticed that only 20% of my viewers are subscribers. So it'd be really important if you can subscribe. It really does help the channel. And every time I hear somebody say that, I shout, no, it doesn't. And it's like, that's probably not 100% accurate, but yeah. Just get them to watch another video. Don't get them to subscribe.
I think they do that to make people feel like they need to subscribe. It like reminds them like, oh, I guess I should. It helps. Okay, let me subscribe. I think it's more for that's guilting them into doing it. I think
This does sound like a person who's kind of getting paralyzed with choice in the thought of having to come up with like many different titles for videos. And yeah, maybe the slight adjustment to the title for that short did bring in 1,000 impressions, but again, we're still talking about relatively small data sample size there. I think for Chris, what I would perhaps suggest is that they need to roll back to even earlier in the process. And that might be coming up with better or testing new video ideas. Because if you're constantly tweaking the thumbnails and the titles, trying to eke out some more, you know, what you might call marginal gains, it feels like the idea in the first place just didn't really match up to the audience's expectations. That might get you out of the funk, Chris, of like constantly playing around with titles and thumbnails. Now, we've been, Jen, Dan, and myself have been wrestling with this question about how useful is the A/B title testing, because we're doing all of these changes and tests, and we get these results whereby one title is 4% better than the other one, but it doesn't necessarily inform us to make sweeping changes on the channel. Like, I'm not feeling after 2 years of thumbnail testing and title testing that I definitively know what thumbnails work better than others. I tend to find that if the idea is really good, then yeah, like a slight change to the thumbnail on the title might get you a bit more traction, but it ultimately starts at the very beginning. And if the idea is not good enough, then that's just going to be an anchor or a handicap for the video, regardless of if you're trying to make a really good title, thumbnail, or hook. I rambled a bit there as long as Chris. I do apologize.
no, it was good, and I think that I think what you said first of all is very critical, and also the fun part. I just want to harp back on that. He said having fun, and it's something that maybe is the good takeaway from this podcast. You got to be having fun while you're doing it. Otherwise, all of this is for naught. But yeah, I think it's first of all, thank you for sending us the video, Chris. It's always good to see people, and yeah, we're curious about those those books in the background. I think that will do for today. Definitely enjoyed having you, Rob. Actually, so when I get off of here, I'm going to go into the kitchen because I got something. So Daryl Eves was on the last episode, and if you haven't watched that episode, please go watch it. It's amazing. He leaves so many great nuggets of information. But the reason I bring that up is because
sorry for the downgrade, everyone.
I know, right? One of the first things we talked about is because he lives in Utah, and I had just recently visited friends in Utah. And while I was there, my friend made homemade fruit roll-ups. And I never had a homemade fruit roll-up before. Have you had fruit roll-ups before?
I don't even know what one is.
You don't even know what a fruit roll-up is? They call it
fruit
leather now. Maybe you heard that phrase. Very tasty little treat. I'm sure they have them in the UK, but I don't want to say they're a kid's treat because I think that makes it sound weird, but they're definitely very tasty. Anyway.
I like really savory and sweet.
Yes. Yeah.
Or sour. Really one of the two. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Halloween candy I might have.
Kind of, but I feel like when you make them naturally out of like fruits and stuff, it feels more kind of natural. Anyway, when I was talking to him just the other day, because I saw him the other day, he was visiting Seattle, and we were talking about that. I'm like, man, they were so good. He goes, well, you just need a food dehydrator. So I ordered one, $45 or whatever from Amazon. I wanted to make my own. So it's super simple to do. I took some applesauce, I put it on a parchment paper, and I put it into the food dehydrator overnight. And right before I came on the podcast, I tried it. So good. So good. So I'm going to go make some more with apple butter this time. And then also you can make beef jerky with it. So I'm going to be the food dehydrator channel, I think, coming up here in the next couple of days, because I'm finding the interesting things about dehydrating your food, which was never on my radar of interesting things before this last weekend. So,
is this in any way, shape, or form a healthy way of making treats or food? Or
it can be. So the reason why it can be is because you are now in control of what's in there.
The ingredients.
Buying something from the store that you know has all types of shenanigans in it. Like, for example, I've been losing weight over the last like 6-7 months, and I don't want to have too much sugar. So what I would do is when I, instead of the applesauce, which I, does have cinnamon sugar in it, in the future, when I make other stuff, I can put in like sugar substitute. So there's not any calories or anything.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely can be. So that's your treat tip for the week. But that'll do it for us today. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you enough. If you want to leave us a message, you can do that. If you want to install the software, there's a link in the description below. And of course, if you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, we would not hate you for that. We would love to see you.
Well, I would.
Well,
apparently.
not well, because for whatever reason.
Just don't subscribe. Watch another podcast.
Oh yeah,
Just watch the Dare Leaves one.
You know what? Good point. Don't subscribe. Just go watch the Dare Leaves.
And then if you watch the Justin Moore one, the one that we mentioned earlier.
Just watch all. Don't even subscribe. Just watch a bunch and watch how often we show up on your homepage.
In fact, we want you to comment on all of the extra podcasts you watch and just type in all caps, I did not subscribe.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Wow. I will approve all of those comments. I'm sure they'll get caught in the filter because they're all caps.
Yeah, probably.
You know what? I just realized too, this is a thing. There's a video coming out that Rob and I shot together where at the end I go, hashtag this, hashtag that. And I realize they're all going to get caught in the filter. So I might have to, when that video goes live, I have to go through and, anyway, I just made myself do more work. Anyway, we'll see y'all in the next one.